Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will present about newspapers lead. The lead or opening paragraph is the most important part of a news story. With so many sources of information, audience simply are not willing to read beyond the first paragraph and even sentence of a story unless it grabs their interest. To make the story more interesting, uh, we must create some uh, powerful lead. And then there are 7 types of leads. There is straight lead, anecdotal lead, scene setting lead, first person lead, observational lead, zinger lead, and question lead. I will explain about the 7 types of the leads. Okay, first is straight lead. Straight lead, also called the summary lead. This is by far the most common and traditional version. It should be used in the most cases. It is a brief summary containing most of the 5 W's and H in one sentence. Okay. Second is anecdotal lead. The anecdotal lead uses a quick, relevant story to draw in the reader. The anecdote must help enhance the article's broader point, and you must explain the connection to that point in the first few sentences following the lead. Scene setting lead. The scene setting lead describes the physical location where a story takes place. And then the first person lead. This lead describes the journalist's personal experience with the topic. It should only be used when you have a valuable contribution and perspective that help illuminate the story. Observational lead. When offering an authoritative observation about a story and how it fits in with the larger picture, you should make sure you know the broader context of your subject matter. And then is zinger lead. The zinger lead is dramatic and attention grabbing. Although it has a strong tone, it requires a hard set of facts to back it up. And lastly, questions lead. Questions lead do just that. Ask a question. Although they are effective in sparking interest, use them sparingly because they generally do not provide the main points of a story as concisely.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ammar Hakim Sabri, metric number 11800175. Okay, let's move to the future lead. I have 3 analyses about the future lead. Okay, for the first one, lead in the future articles, basically they didn't state the deadline in front of the lead. For the second one, mostly in the future articles, especially in this scrapbook, they use the conventional or summary lead. This lead is used in straight news. It answers right away all or any of the 5 W's in H. 5 W is what, who, why, where, when, and H is how. So the example of the future in the scrapbook is about the intake of the vitamin C in the daily diet. So basically, it is about what? So what is that? It is about the intake of the vitamin C in the daily diet. Okay, the third one is about the angle. The angle that's stated in the future lead mostly is about the important thing and also the interesting thing. So the important thing, for example, for the futures in the scrapbook is about the COVID-19 lockdown. So basically, the story about COVID-19 lockdown is about the important thing, And also the interesting thing, the example in this scrapbook is the story about a woman with shawl and the extreme activities. So basically it is about the interesting thing. Thank you.
Types of headline. First, banner headline. Words print in extra large letters across the top of the front page of the newspaper on extremely important stories. They are not used frequently, but when they are used, they are significant impact. Second, inverted pyramid headline. So, concentrates on presenting the most important information goes in the first paragraph and the less important information follows to the very end of the story. Third, crossline headline. The simplest types of headlines consisting of a single line and one or most often more columns in width. A great criteria of headline are the headline that can attract the reader using an action adverb, catchy, the font in bold, and the headline are in serious or humorous. Subheadline or subheading. What mean? A subheadline is text placed under a headline, often with a smaller font, which expands on what the headline says.
Assalamualaikum and very good day to all of you. Today I would like to share with all of you about the future writing headlines. My name is Muhammad Idlan bin Yahaya. So what is the headline? Headline is the top of an article in a newspaper or magazine, which is the first sentence that will introduce the people towards the writing itself. There are several kinds of headlines. There are banner headline, centered headline, flash left headline, flash left right headline, and crossline headline. So the kinds of headline. Number one, the banner headline is the head which set with full page width at the top of the article. The second one, the centered headline, is the head that's said to be in the center of columns between the columns. The third headline is the flash left headline, which is the 2 or 3 line head with each line set flash left, while the flash right headline is the 2 or 3 line head with each line set flash right. So the fifth headline is the crossline headline, which is a single line that covers all the columns of the story to which it pertains. There are several rules for headlines. Number one, it should be attention grabber, which is it should attract the audience to read the whole article. Second one, the heads should fill the space allotted in the article. The third one, avoid repetition of words or phrases. The fourth one is the headline should use single quotation marks. And the last one is avoid semicolon in one line head. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Amir bin Ghazali. My mistake number is 118025. Today I would like to talk about inverted pyramid in a news. Okay, the inverted pyramid is a metaphor used by journalists and writer to illustrate how important should be prioritized and structure in a report news. It is a common method for writing news story and has wide adaptability to other kind of text such as blog, editorial column, and marketing fact sheet. It is a way to communicate the basic about a topic in the initial sentences. The inverted pyramid is taught to mass communication and journalism students and is systematically used in English language media. The inverted or upside down pyramid can be thought as a triangle pointing down. The widest part at the top represents the most substantial, interesting, and important information that the writer means to convey. illustrating that this kind of material should head the article, while the tapering lower portion illustrates that other material should follow in order of diminishing importance.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hilmi bin Jamal and my metric number is 1180213. Okay, so now I would like to continue or to explain more about under the topic the inverted pyramid. Okay, so first thing first, in the inverted pyramid there are three stages. At the top, which is the lid. In lid, there is 5W and 1H. Okay. Under the lid stage is the body, which is the crucial info. In the body include argumentative, controversy, story, and evidence. Okay. So at the bottom stage, which is the tail or the extra info, which is the related things or the interesting items that could put there. Okay, this format is valued for two reasons. First, readers can leave the story at the point and understand it. And second, it conducts readers through the detail of the story at the end. Okay, so I think that's all from me. My friends will continue. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To Madam and my fellow friends, my name is Izhar bin Nordin and my metric number is 1180170. Okay, now I would like to explain about inverted pyramid for future writing. Actually, in future writing, they rarely use inverted pyramid to write it because it can make the writing for the future become hard. So there are other way to write it. The first thing in the inverted pyramid is introduction. The introduction is really important because it will give a general image of the writing, and it also will enhance the people to hook to read the writing until the end. The second one is when it have its own worth value, people will try to read it and to find and they will get something that new to them. And the last part for the introduction is it is the last chance to hook the readers to read it, other than headline and subhead. As for introduction, there are several steps that can help to enhance our future writing to make readers to become hooked to our writing. Okay, the first step is we can write the first paragraph with interesting and provocative opening statement. For example, in this future writing, the headline is Ramai Lupa Vitamin D, but in the first paragraph, it wrote about people take vitamin C as the main vitamin for themselves because it can enhance their immunization. After we wrote about the interesting and provocative opening statement, we can start to insert the topic and the purpose of the writing. As for example, in this future writing it already mentioned the people forgot about the vitamin D in the headline, but in the second paragraph they repeat it to show it the purpose of the writing, which is what they forgot with the importance of vitamin D. The next step is we can write something that intrigue and interest the readers to read the future writing. For example, here it wrote about after people have been diagnosed, it shows that most of people lacks of vitamin D. The last step to write introduction is to write a background about the topic. This is because when we write a background about the topic, it can make the readers too easy to understand what we write.
Okay, thank you to Izhar. Then we are continue to the main part when we want to write the feature writing. Okay, the second part of this is a body. We before we want to write a feature writing, we must to use use good unique angle. Example in the article that we have choose on the news. The headline is a weight gain during the pandemic. Okay, if as we know, during pandemic, many people have the their weight gain is rise up. Okay, um, then then way of writing. Okay, feature writing must include a lot of story, a lot of fact that is connected to the storyline. Okay, um, it's used to bringing the reader in the end, getting them connected to the character. Okay, uh, second, third, different between the other genre. Before we want to write feature writing, we must to choose what the type of genre that we want to write. Example on our feature writing is ramai lupa vitamin D. Is come from result evident or result from the professional person from to the head about head. Okay, evidence is very important when we want to write feature writing. And then Dr. Malcolm Caldwell said feature article generally does not follow the inverted pyramid style, that they can follow any number of different narrative form. This that I have know on this on he said we must to think how to want to to attract the to hook the reader to continue read our article. And finally is a tale of or conclusion. Okay, we can put other information later item such as a powerful quote. It used to tie up the ending back to this lead. Okay. Um, that's all for today. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, next about the news, between news and different between news and feature writing. First one, news is a time sensitive and of immediate interest. Media outlets want to publish news stories as quickly as possible after an event occurs. For example, like election result, an accident, and a robbery report. Second one, a news reports about the facts using 5W and 1H, and that is who, what, when, why, what, and lastly how. It is written in a straightforward, using a simple and effective words to deliver the facts quickly. Next, news article are shorter than picture writing, averaging 100 to 400 words, depending upon the type of news and where it is placed in the publication. They are meant to be digested quickly. And the last one, news story, have a different types of beginning and ending. News stories tell what the news is upfront and then give the most important details in the first paragraph and two. A news story can end anyway after it have described the most important facts.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Saifuddin bin Ibrahim. Okay, I will talk about the difference of futures writing and news. Okay, I will talk about futures writing, and then my friend will talk about news. Okay, the characteristic of futures writing is firstly, timing doesn't depend on time like news. It is free to publish at any time. Secondly, futures writing style is using more words and have a creative structure. The words can be more than 2,000 words. The beginning or leads doesn't tell directly that the article about what. They make the readers interested and feel like he wants to read more and more. It ends with the reader feeling satisfied that they gain some value after reading the story. Lastly, in terms of content, it is general, not about issues, incidents, or current issues. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.